I'd like to call the regular council meeting for the town of Grand Bay-Westfield on February 9, 2026 to order at 7:01 p.m. We respectfully acknowledge that Grand Bay-Westfield exists on the traditional Woolastoqua land. The lands of Wabanaki people are recognized in a series of peace and friendship treaties to establish an ongoing relationship of peace, friendship, and mutual respect between equal nations. The river that runs by our town is known as Woolastoq, along which live the Woolastoqua, the peoples of the beautiful and bountiful river. We, the staff and elected representatives, pay respect to the elders, past and present, and descendants of this land. Good evening, everyone, and the special guests that we have in our audience today. I'm thrilled to see you all here. As we get further into 2026, I just want to take a minute to recognize the steady work that's happening around this table and across the organization that is our town. It seems like every time of year feels busy, and this is no exception. We're always juggling ongoing projects, new priorities, and the day-to-day issues that matter the most to our residents. And as always, I really want to thank council and staff for the thoughtful and professional way that you approach that work, because it really does make a difference. We're also continuing to navigate real financial pressures like municipalities across the province and across the country. We're always careful and responsible in our decisions. We're trying to do as much as we can with the money we've been trusted with a focus on protecting services, supporting our residents, and keeping our community moving forward in a responsible and sustainable way. And thank you to the residents who continue to engage with us, and we have a shining example of that here in the council room with us tonight. They continue to share feedback and stay involved, because without the involvement of our residents, we wouldn't be on the path that we are now, because local government works best when people are part of the conversation. With that, let's get into tonight's agenda. Item 4, record of attendance. Let the record reflect we have full attendance here this evening. Item 5, agenda approval. The motion is that the council of the town of Grand Bay-Westfield approve the agenda for the meeting of February 9th, 2026. Do I have a mover? Councillor Bellin, thank you. Second, Councillor Balcom. Any questions or comments on the motion? There being none, all in favor? Contrary minded? Motion is carried. Thank you. Item 6, disclosure of conflict of interest. Are there any? There being none, we'll move on to item 7, public hearings, presentations, delegations, and petitions. Item 7A, proposed demonym, River Valley Middle School. We have Mr. Gary Lee and his students here tonight to present a very interesting proposal to council. So welcome, we're thrilled to have you here, and the floor is yours, Mr. Lee.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, council, for having us. So, this all kind of started on Halloween, and someone brought up the topic of demons. Demons? We don't need to be talking about demons in school. By the way, I teach at River Valley Middle School, if you didn't catch that, and these are my grade 6 social studies students, those you're wondering. So I'm like, demons, that reminds me of something else. And it's the word demonym, or you can pronounce it demonym if you prefer. Either way is perfectly fine. And so I said, does anyone know what demonym is? And they're like, does it have something to do with demons? So we've got little placards we're going to be using tonight. So they're not related to demons. So we wanted to make that clear from right up front. Even though it did start on Halloween. Demonyms are what people are called, or what they call themselves who are from, or who reside in a particular location. That's what demonyms are. And to help explain what these are, give us some examples. I've brought in these students here who can make it. Macy, are you up front first? All right, come on up. Bring your placards. Watch your step. All you guys, watch your step. There's like loose electrical wires here. So, if you would, stand right here. Okay, you've got number 3. Where's number 2? There's number 2. Where's number 2? Number 2. My apologies. So, number 3. So, the demonym for people who live in Canada is?
Canadians.
I'm supposed to give you the answer. Okay, yes, Canadians! Got it right. Lovely. Thank you, Macy. And what's your next one say? Oh, the demonym for people who live in New Brunswick is? See, we get different answers. Some of you are saying New Brunswickers, some of you are saying Brunswickers. Either one is fine. That's perfectly fine. I think I've seen more New Brunswickers than anything else because, Old Brunswick is Germany, right? Right, very good. You knew that. I thought you guys well. Thank you, Macy. All right. Olivia, help us out. And watch your steps. All right. You know you're going to be on a game show tonight. Thank you. The demonym for people from St. John is? St. Johners. Look at this. You're doing great. Doing great. Fabulous. Thank you, Olivia. And, what's this one say? The demonym for people in or from Halifax is? Don't show them. Right? I don't know. Or is it Halifaxers? Or Halifaxonians? Halifaxfield Viltonians? Someone said it right, though. It is Haligonians. And we don't know why either. Where did they come up with that? I don't know. But they came up with something. They have a demonym. Thank you, Olivia. Who's next? Is it Paige? Paige, are you next? Why did I put you back there against the wall? I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm sorry about that. Paige, help us out. So, most people. Okay, so if you ask any two people in or from Grand Bay-Westfield, which my students did, what their demonym is, most people will wonder why you're asking about demons. That's what you found out, right, guys? What's a demonym? Kind of disturbing. Thank you, Paige. All done? Who's next? Aria. Actually, so rather well. Okay. Don't let me see the answer, Aria. Where'd you go? You still ready? I want you to be on camera just like everyone else. Why not? Can I see your placard, please? Thank you. Appreciate it. So, as a result, my students at River Valley Middle School surveyed our families, neighbors, and each other for potential demonyms for this town. Right. Let's talk about the finalists were. Thank you, Aria. All right. All right. It's your turn. Come on down. Ethan. Vinny, you're welcome to come too. This guy is a trooper because he messed up his ankle a little while back and he's still here on his crutches. Just see him going up and down stairs with it. It's kind of impressive. All right. So, So, some of the proposals we had for doing this for Grand Bay-Westfield were Grand Bay-Westfielders. But yes, it's a little wordy. Who are you? You're Grand Bay-Westfield. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. And Thomas, I think you're next. And I have no idea why I stuck you in the corner. Don't trip on. Thank you. Thomas is extra dedicated too. He doesn't even live here. He's on Brown's Flat. But another suggestion was Grand Bayers. Grand Bayers, which is nice, but what about people who are in or from Westfield? Yeah, thank you, Thomas. Then there's Thomas. Who's a Brown's Flatter, if you ask him. Cal, come on down. Oh, our new YouTube star, isn't it? Dear Cal. Thank you, Cal. Another suggestion was Westfielders. Again, also nice, but leaves out people from Grand Bay. Why would you do that? That's messing with me. Thanks for your help, Cal. Taking attendance while I'm here today, if you're wondering. All right. We've got Hunter. Love all the different approaches they have for getting over here. This is interesting. Thank you, Hunter. And then there's also West Bay Fieldersonians. This accomplishes nothing. It's like it says there. It's worse, actually. Thank you, Hunter. All right, then. Jackson, if you would. Unless Riker's next. Hold on. You are absolutely right. Thank you, Hunter. So finally, winning the most votes in our survey, a name proposed by one of our own students. Sorry, it's on the next placard. Thank you, Jackson. Appreciate it. Riker, it's down to you. Spence's building. Bayfielders? No, that's not terrible. That wasn't the winning one. You know, the problem is the person who actually proposed the winning dividend is not here tonight. But thank you, Riker. Well done. The one that won was this one, Grandfielders. So it's a name, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, it's a name that unites our community. It's a name that is simple yet also progressive. It's a name that respects our past heritage. And it's a dividend for today as well as tomorrow. And we can all call ourselves Grandfielders. So we, students, and myself, we entrust your judgment and your due diligence and your enthusiasm to consider this. And I don't know, when you figure it out, let us know. But what a great thing to say. Yeah, I'm a Grandfielder. And no one can argue with that if you say, well, this is the official dividend for Bay-Westfield, including Nervous, for those of you who are out that way. So, and that's all we have. If you have any questions from any of the students, we're right here.
That's wonderful. I think I speak for us all that this is one of the most interesting and engaging presentations that we've had before us as a council. And I want to thank Mr. Lee again for arranging all of this. And when I was in to visit with all of you a couple of weeks ago, it was probably one of the most. I certainly had to use my brain a lot. It was so fun. I've never been in a classroom with so many people that had so many questions and really interesting questions that made me have to really think about the answers. So. As I said when I came to visit you, I'm a real geek about this stuff, so it was really fun to be able to sit and talk about it with a bunch of people that were also really interested in it. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to council to see if they have any questions or comments that maybe you can answer, or if you can't answer them today, maybe think about the answer. So I'll open the floor to council. Councillor Day?
I used to be a Haligonian.
Uh-huh.
And I love Grandfielders.
Oh, good.
So thank you, because I've never realized until tonight that we didn't have, I'm going to call it a shortcut name for us.
Well, that's what it is.
Yeah.
We can't let the St. Johners be the only people in this area that have a dividend, right?
Yeah,
So,
I love it.
awesome.
I used to be
Yes,
an old pointer.
Hey,
I used to be an old pointer.
really?
Now Green Bay.
Ah! I'm not even from here myself either, so.
This past Brown Flats.
Oh, there we go. Lovely. Wonderful. Anyone else? Yes,
Councillor
ma'am.
Murphy.
So I love the presentation, thank you very much. How did you arrive at the suggestion? Was there a vote, or was the school involved, was it class?
It was strictly my social studies students. This is about a third of them, maybe. I've got 49 students, I think, between all my classes. And, just started off, with my asking them, since I'm not from this area originally, what do you guys call yourselves? And that's why we got the different answers, Grand Bayers, Westfielders, Westfieldvillians. I mean, it all came up there. So I'm like, well, gosh, go home, ask your parents and your elders, and, people in your neighborhood who've been here, longer than a minute. What do you call yourselves? And we came up with all these different answers that we shared with you, and a few more that probably we shouldn't have included, but we didn't. But then we said, well, you know what? Let's come up with a proposal for council. Since obviously there isn't one, maybe there should be one. And that's why they came up with. We voted on 4. Was it, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. We actually had a student again who's not here tonight. who came up with the idea of Grandfielders, and then everyone kind of said, well, that was the winning vote. Like the vast majority, like over 50% of the students polled said, yeah, that's the best one. So I wish you could have made it, but we got you guys, and I appreciate your help. So that's how it came to be.
Thank you, good idea
Yes, ma'am.
and good suggestion.
Any other questions or comments from council? Councillor Bevins?
4 years ago, we had the name change.
Yeah. It's not too late. So there you go.
Well, I'm not seeing any other hands up from council, but I think if you remember when I came to visit you, I explained to you a little bit about the process, what it was gonna look like, that we wouldn't discuss a possible decision tonight, but we would refer your presentation to staff. Staff will take a look at it and take a look at the pros and cons and potential precedents and things like that, and any kind of evidence that council will need to have in order to move forward with any potential decision. And then we will come back at another meeting and have that discussion in open session like this, so that it's transparent and everybody that's interested can see. So you can come back and watch in person, or you can watch on YouTube, anything along those lines. So that's a bit about the process there. But yeah, so
They also came up with a logo. No, I shouldn't say a logo. A slogan. It's great to be a Grandfielder.
oh, wow.
There you go.
Very good, like
Do with it what you
information
will.
there.
Well, there you go.
Very good. Again, thank you very much. This was a very engaging project for me to be
Thank you, Mayor.
involved in terms of meeting with the kids and watching the presentation and learning a bit about the process that you all went through to come to this proposal. So thank you very, very much. This is wonderful. So,
Yeah, you're right. Good job, guys.
that really great.
All right, then.
All right.
You all have a wonderful evening. Thank you for having us.
Thank
All of
you
you.
very much.
Right. Now to not turn over the wires. One more time. Okay. All right, guys. Let's go find your grown-ups. Found, yes, you did. Where is this? Yes, you
With that,
That's a souvenir. By the way, thanks for showing up.
Gives you extra work.
So the motion there is that the council of the town of Grand Bay-Westfield defer the decision to the meeting of March 23rd, 2026. Do I have a mover? Councillor Bellman, second by Deputy Mayor Toole. Thank you very much. Any questions or comments on the motion?
I wish my history classes would have been that much fun.
It was pretty cool.
I got a question.
Yes.
Make it future street somewhere. What do you propose? A future street, I don't know.
I don't know either, then maybe staff that can be something for staff to consider for sure. So, is there any other questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion is carried. Thank you. Item 8, minutes of previous meeting. 8A, regular meeting of council, January 12th, 2026. The motion is that the council of the town of Grand Bay-Westfield adopt the minutes of the regular meeting of January 12th, 2026 as presented. Do I have a mover? Councillor Burpee, and that was a second by Deputy Mayor Toole. Any questions or comments on the motion? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion is carried, thank you. Item 9, unfinished business. There being none, we'll move on to item 10, bylaws. 10A, clean fill bylaw, second reading. John, can you speak to the item and then I'll read out the motion?
Certainly, we first brought this to council, the first meeting in January. And specifically, it's just to be able to control what type of fill that goes into town property. And the only area that we're looking at accepting fill is between the fire training ground and the dog park. And this type of fill that we're looking for will make it easy to repurpose the land. So there's some stuff that's excluded for a variety of reasons, which will affect our ability to repurpose the land. Council hadn't made any suggestions last time for amendments, so this has remained unchanged from January.
Thank you, John. I'll read the motion, then open the floor for discussion. The motion is Clean Fill Bylaw, second reading. The motion is that the council of the town of Grand Bay-Westfield approve the second reading of the Clean Fill Bylaw. Second reading by title, Clean Fill Bylaw PW-003. Do I have a mover? Councillor Bellmans, thank you. Do I have a second? Councillor Bellmans? Sorry, Balcom? Gets me every time. Any questions or comments on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor? Contrary minded? Motion is carried. Thank you very much. Item 11, new business recommendations. 11A, reserve transfer, February 2026. John, can you speak to the motion, please?
Yeah, before I turn it over to the CFO, just say that our CFO is working hard to stay on top of our cash flow issues, and I'll ask him to take it from there.
John. Yes, Your Worship. So in 2025, we were approved $600,000 in borrowing from the province. This was for the purchase of 2 vehicles, a works fire truck, and then a GMC Acadia for the fire department. Those items have been tendered and awarded, and we're waiting on delivery. What that means is, at some point in the next several months, we will need to have $600,000 to pay for those pieces of equipment. Once that's done, later in the year, we'll be reimbursed through financing from the province, but we need to cash flow those projects until then. So one of the strategies we can utilise is short-term borrowing from our own reserves, and that's what we're requesting approval to do this evening.
Thank you, James. I'll read out the motion and open the floor. The motion is that the council of the town of Grand Bay-Westfield authorize the following transfer, $600,000 transfer from the General Revenue Capital Reserve Fund to the General Revenue Fund. Do I have a mover for that? Councillor Billmans, thank you. Second, Councillor McIntosh Lawrence. Any questions or comments on the motion? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion is carried. Thank you. 11B, Public Works Garage Loan Draw 1. And John, I'll pass it over to you.
Yeah, and again, I'll turn it over to the CFO in a moment. I think I'll let council know via email that the project work for the works garage has been tendered, and we're waiting responses. The deadline is the end of February, my recollection. And we're also very encouraged that we're expecting a lot of submissions on the project because we've been mindful. Well, that's encouraging news because we've been mindful of the cost of it. And again, we have expenses that are due, and I'm going to turn it over to the CFO for more details.
Thank you, yes, Your Worship and Council. So funding for this project is again through provincial debentures. $6.6 million has been approved. We do not receive those funds until the project is completed, which is going to be 18 months to 2 years away. So we need to cash flow the project until completion. We are approved to do that through our bank, Scotiabank, and the council previously approved the short-term borrowing for that. To date, we've spent just over $300,000. It's come out of our own funds. So what we're requesting is that we tap into the short-term loan that we have, $500,000. That's the minimum draw that we can make. Again, it just helps bolster our cash flow situation. These are funds that we've already spent, so it helps shore us our cash flow off the other operations that the town has.
Thank you, James. I'll read the motion and open the floor. The motion is that the council of the town of Grand Bay-Westfield direct the CFO to request Scotiabank advance $500,000 from credit facility number 3 in relation to the Public Works Garage construction. Do I have a mover? Deputy Mayor Toole, thank you. Do I have a second? Councillor McIntosh Lawrence. Questions or comments on the motion? There being none, all in favor? Contrary minded? Motion is carried. Thank you. Item 11C, Harbour Station Commission appointment. John?
Thank you, Your Worship. And in conversation with Councillor Balcom, we realized that we need to provide greater certainty around his appointment to the Harbour Station, or TD Station as it's now known. And just given that the election, and I'll turn it over to Councillor Balcom for further report on it.
Thank you. Council did appoint me as its representative on the TD Harbour Station Board. My concern is that with two other elected officials, one from Quispamsis and one from St. John, whose terms, in my opinion, will also terminate the day that the new council is sworn in, there will be a lag in the number of appointed board members for TD Harbour Station, and their bylaws, or sorry, not bylaws, their charter requires them to have X number of members, and there are some ongoing negotiations that may not be able to have quorum unless continuity is there, and then it would be up to the new board, the new council to appoint their new representative on TD Harbour Station. But I'd be willing to stay on until the new council makes that appointment to whoever they so choose on that board and other.
Thank you, Councillor.
So I'll just follow up and say that I've put the termination of his appointment as the new council's meeting in July.
Thanks, John. Well, I haven't read the motion.
Sorry.
The motion is that the council of the town of Grand Bay-Westfield continue Councillor Balcom's appointment to the TD Harbour Station Commission until the council meeting in July. Do I have a mover? Councillor Day, second by Councillor Bailmans. Questions or comments? Councillor Day?
That appointment in previous years was for a period of time, whether the person was a councillor or not. So if there are negotiations happening and for the communities and to facilitate what needs to be done for that facility, and knowing that if you get a whole bunch of new people on there, then you've got to bring them all up to speed. You may want to consider extending that out past July for even another year. If Jim is willing.
Councillor, in talking with Councillor Balcom, we very much align with your way of thinking. However, it is the new council's prerogative, and my recommendation, if Councillor Balcom is still willing at the time, is to appoint him until the sensitive period has ended.
Okay.
We totally on board with your thinking, but this is really a new council prerogative.
Any other questions or comments on the motion? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion is carried. Thank you, Councillor Balcom, for continuing to serve. I appreciate your service.
Thank you.
11D, Crane Mountain Economic Development Fund. John?
Thank you. Thanks to the lobbying of the mayor, we received funding for economic development because the landfill site is located close enough to the town that affects our quality of life. And so part of the terms of reference for the funding is to provide an annual report due February 15th. And so in the report, all I've done is laid out what we have done, which is basically renovating the first and second floors to make room for connection works to move in. So that work is almost done, and so the report just completes the terms that are required on an annual basis to continue receiving the funding.
Thank you, John. The motion is that the council of the town of Grand Bay-Westfield receive and file the report, and that the report be submitted to the Sunday Regional Service Commission per the terms of reference for the Crane Mountain Economic Development Fund. Do I have a mover for that?
So moved.
Yes, thank you, Councillor Balcom. Second, Councillor McIntosh Lawrence. Any questions or comments on the motion? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? That motion is carried. Thanks, and looking forward to Connection Works opening their doors here in the fairly near future. 11E, Phase 2 proposal Municipal Water Source Supply Assessment, WSSA. Then we'll pass this over to the CAO again.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just a reminder to council that we received significant amount of money from the Housing Accelerator Fund, and through RDC and that money we've done phase 1 of EIA and hydrogen environmental impact assessment and hydrogeological study on land along Colonel Mays. That draft is currently being reviewed. In the meantime, we need to go on to phase 2, which is actual well drilling and testing, which we need to do during low water period, and then a formal resubmission of the EIA and water source supply. So the estimated cost for the second phase is just over $400,000. However, through HAF and RDC, it's all paid for. So both for phase 1 and phase 2, the net cost to the town is about $50,000, which I think we've already dispersed. So we're not expecting to disperse town funding for that. So we're just asking that we can award Gemtech the project for it. They continue doing the work.
Thank you, John. The motion is that the Council of the Town of Grand Bay-Westfield authorize the CAO to engage Gemtech to complete phase 2 of the Colonel Mays Boulevard development proposed municipal water source supply assessment. Do I have a motion? Councillor Bailman, seconded by Deputy Mayor Toole. Thank you very much. Any questions or comments on the motion?
Just a comment, Your Worship. This is great news. Without water, it will be very difficult to get developers to take that risk. This is why we as a town applied for the HAF funding to do things to mitigate that risk for developers and for all development along Colonel Mays. So I think this is a fantastic idea, and I look forward to Gemtech doing the next phase. I do have a question, if I may, through you, the Mayor to CAO. Is it just water supply and recharge rate, or do they also test at this stage for the water quality?
It includes water quality.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Any other questions or comments on the motion? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion is carried. Thank you, Council. This is an exciting time to be moving forward with this kind of project that will hopefully secure the developmental future of the town and at the very end of it, build more houses and have more roofs over heads. So. Now 11F, Municipal Kilometrage Maintenance Agreement 2026. And I'll pass this over to the CAO.
Yeah, so I'll defer to the Public Works Director, sorry, new title, new person, for more details, but basically this is an annual agreement that we do with DTI, and again, this, as a reminder, this is an area where we lose money to the province. For 24-25, I think it was just under $60,000 that we subsidized the province for looking after their roads. I'll turn it over to the Public Works Director if he wants to add anything else.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. Your Worship, Council. So this is an annual agreement that the town enters an agreement with the province. It basically outlines the lane kilometers that the town is responsible to maintain on the province's behalf. So a quick summary, we're responsible, or the town is responsible to maintain 44.9 kilometers in summer. And in the winter, we have the responsibility of maintaining 46.7 lane kilometers. And where you see that difference is we do somewhat of an operation swap where in the winter time, DTI will maintain the portion of Red Road between Route 177 Bridge, and we maintain the area north of the municipal boundary to exit 70. And this is what they apply the funding reimbursement for winter and summer maintenance.
Thank you, Chris. I'll read the motion and open the floor. The motion is that the Council of the Town of Grand Bay-Westfield approve the summer and winter maintenance agreement as prepared by the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure for the period covering January 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2026. Do I have a mover? Councillor Berkeley, thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor McIntosh Lawrence, thank you. I'll open the floor to questions or comments. Councillor Bell.
How are we gonna make this gap narrow for $60,000 down low, or how we do it? Make it less.
We've been chipping away at it, councillor. It used to be more than that. The thing that I think we'll see this year is the Works Department will have street sweeping equipment, right? So that'll be about $12,000 there, give or take a few dollars. The department's becoming more efficient in doing some of those road patches that we're responsible for. I don't know that we'll ever get to zero, councillor. I think fundamentally the province is short funding us, but we are making headway and we're closing that gap.
Thank you, and just as a comment related to your question, councillor, this is because there's a deficit. Basically, what they're asking our residents to do is pay for that road twice, because that is a provincial road. People have already paid for that, for its maintenance through their provincial taxes, whether it's HST or whether it's income tax. So because they now have to pay through their property taxes, because the province has not funded that agreement well enough, they're double paying for that road. And that's not tax fairness, and that's one of the things I'm always advocating for the province to change. Any other questions or comments on the motion? There being none, all in favor? Contrary minded? Motion is carried, thank you. Item 12, bills for payment. The motion is that the Council of the Town of Grand Bay-Westfield authorize the February 9th, 2026 bills for payment as presented in the amount of $1,002,339.13. Do I have a mover? Councillor Burpee, thank you. Do I have a second? Deputy Mayor Toole, thanks. Any questions or comments on the motion? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion is carried, thanks. Item 13, consent agenda. 13A, Communities in Blue. B, Animal Control Report, January 2026. C, PAC meeting minutes, November 3rd, 2025. D, RVCC board meeting minutes, D1, April 15th, 2025. D2, May 20th, 2025. D3, June 17th, 2025. D4, August 26th, 2025. D5, to September 23rd, 2025. 13E, thank you, junior achievement letter. F, letter Grand Bay CRP approval. G, communities asked to be listed, JD Irving Limited. The motion is that the Council of the Town of Grand Bay-Westfield receive and file the consent agenda items for February 9th, 2026. And do I have a mover for that? Councillor Burpee, second. Deputy Mayor Toole, thank you. Any questions or comments on the motion? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion is carried. Thank you very much. And then we're on to council reports. Councillor Day?
Viberfest has been meeting since January. I haven't made it, but I'm hoping to get there this week. And I've got a new piece of hardware called a hip. And I'd like to thank council and staff for the lovely bouquet of flowers. They were really well appreciated. My husband thought it was another shipment of fabric coming in the door, but it was really nice to say, no, they're flowers. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you, and we're glad to see that you're back here, and I think it's the sign of a successful program when it carries on, even when you're not there every time. So congratulations on that, Councillor.
I think it's wonderful.
Councillor Bell.
I have nothing to report.
Oh wow, that's good. Nice quiet week.
I agree.
Councillor Burpee.
Okay, I'll make up for that.
Five other thoughts.
Okay, so been busy. January 13th and 28th, attended youth council meetings. The youth council, due to the Christmas party, has picked up 2 new members. So that's very exciting. They were really impressed with the youth council efforts and decided to join. Also, they collaboratively decided to make a gift card donation to each family that lost their home, excuse me, in a tragic fire. January 17th, I attended the Westfield and District meeting. basically discussing and planning many events that fit into February. Winterfest being Saturday, February 21st, January 20th, CBC meeting. Planning family day events and partnering with MB Social Pediatrics, so that should be fun. That is February the 16th at the Westfield Golf Country Club. January 29th, virtually I watched the State of the Province. February 5th, Big Brothers Big Sisters mentoring luncheon with the mayor. My mentee Piper attended with us. She was very excited that the mayor was at our table and asked if she was the mayor of Canada. I said she should be. February 1st, I attended the hockey game for the Grand Bay-Westfield Fire and Wellsford Fire, so congrats to Wellsford, they won. And February 7th, which was Saturday night at Four Corners, we had a skating dance party, which was a great night, beautiful weather. I lost count at over 140 people that attended, which was more than last year. It was really fun. I love that kind of stuff anyway, and that's it for me.
Thank you, Councillor. Deputy Mayor Toole.
I haven't got it for but I did the CBC Community Vitality Committee meeting to help plan for Family Day, so I'm looking forward to that, that's great. And the only other thing I had, which was lots of fun, is I was able to give greetings, say hello from Grand Bay-Westfield at the Rockwood Glows, one of the Winterfest events in St. John, and the turnout was incredible there too. People are loving the outdoor events, so it's really nice to see.
That's great, thank you. Councillor Bell.
Thank you, Your Worship. 2 events that I attended since last council meeting. I paid a brief visit to the annual Grand Bay-Westfield Wellsford Fire Rescue hockey game, and wish I could have stayed longer, but unfortunately I had another commitment, but it was nice to have been there. And I hope that tradition continues year after year, because it looks like it's a fun event for all concerned. And I had a PAC meeting last Tuesday, February 3rd. Thank you.
Councillor McIntosh Lawrence.
January 13th, I had our RBCC meeting. January 15th, I attended the New Brunswick Marathon Committee meeting. So that's a really exciting event that's happening in our community this New Brunswick Day. It's the first annual New Brunswick Marathon. So if that's your wheelhouse, get the word out there, sign up, tell your friends. It's gonna be a great event. January 20th, I also attended the Community Vitality Committee where we discussed Family Day. And also the hockey game between our fire departments. February 3rd, I took part in a UMMB Health Committee meeting virtually. And also that night was a Community Vitality Committee meeting where we put the final touches on Family Day. And last was another MB Marathon meeting on February 5th.
Thank you, Councillor. And as always, thanks from me for all the work that you do to make the community a better place. I really appreciate it. It was busy for me too. I won't go into everything, but some of the highlights were that I attended the port modernization project ribbon cutting ceremony. I mean, the work's been mostly done for a little while, but it was a way to sort of celebrate the conclusion of a huge project that's going to affect not just the city of St. John, but the town of Grand Bay-Westfield as well, with the increased economic impact that the growth of the port is going to have. I attended what was called a medical learners engagement session, which was great. It was essentially most of the students from Dalhousie met here in the city of St. John. And it's an opportunity to get to know the students, talk about your community, why it's a great idea to stay here, why Grand Bay-Westfield will be a wonderful place to cite your practice when you graduate. You know, just start to build those relationships with the medical learners in the hopes that they would consider eventually setting up a practice here. So that was a really great event. I met with the social studies grade 6 classes a couple of weeks ago. It was 2 classes back to back, and I was on the hot seat for both classes. And It was not a cakewalk by any stretch of the imagination. They peppered one question after another at me, and they were good questions that sometimes I had to really think about, hard to answer. It was really, really wonderful. It was incredibly exciting to see a group of kids be that engaged about civics, about local government, and how to make their community better. I loved every second of it, even though I needed to sit down and have a coffee afterwards to recover. It was awesome. I loved it. I attended the State of the Province, where I had the opportunity to meet and talk with a number of the ministers that are attached to the files that are important to us, whether it's the school, whether it's infrastructure funding, whether it's DTI and enhanced funding for River Valley Drive. So that's always a really good opportunity to get the priorities of the town in the ears of the decision makers. Of course, the third annual pond hockey tournament, and I know Wellsford won, and congratulations to Wellsford. It was really wonderful, but we have to let them win sometimes. So it was always really, really fun. Went to a couple of Fundy Regional Service Commission meetings, the board meeting, and the Regional Transportation Committee meeting, which I chair, and so that work is moving forward. Specific to regional transportation, one of the things I want people to know about is that we will be launching an origin destination survey very soon across the Fundy region. So if you see that anywhere in your socials or on the radio, anything like that, I would encourage people to share that, to engage in it, to fill out the survey, because if we're going to move forward to try and develop a regional plan for public transportation, we really need to have a good understanding of where people are going, where they're coming from, why they're going there, and when. And along with Councillor Burpee, I attended the Spark Big Brothers Big Sisters event, and that was always really wonderful, and I loved being able to sit with Piper and have a chance to talk with her. So thank you for that opportunity, Councillor, I really appreciated that. And with that, we'll move on to item 15, which is business arising from committee of the whole. There being none, we'll move on to item 16, adjournment. And the motion is that the Council of the Town of Grand Bay-Westfield adjourn the meeting at 7:48 p.m. Do I have a mover for that? Deputy Mayor Toole, seconder, Councillor Burpee. Any questions or comments on that motion? No, there being none, all in favor? Contrary minded? Motion is carried, and thank you to everyone. Thank you, Council. Thank you, staff.